Hello, everyone. We're so excited for you to join us this year at Global Finals 2024. My name is Riley DeBacher. I'm one of the International Engineering Challenge Masters this year. And in just a second, you're going to get to meet Donna Robinson, our other Challenge Master. I've been doing DI for more than 25 years at this point, and I'm really excited to be back at Global Finals again. I started as a competitor, and it's really cool to be joining you all as an an international challenge master this year. The purpose of this video is just to give you a quick overview of answering some questions that you might have and to help give you an idea of how the global final site might look this year. But as a reminder, we are going to be doing a walkthrough video once we get onto the site, which will show you the actual specifics of the different sites and the path that you're going to take to get there. So if you have specific questions about those, the answers are coming. They won't be in this video, but keep your eye out for the next one. Now I'm going to turn it over to Donna to introduce herself and to go on from here to explain some about the site.
Hello, everybody. I am Donna Robinson. I'm from Nebraska, and I've been doing the DI and creative problem solving for, I believe this is our 34th year. So I've been team manager. The only thing I haven't done was to be an actual team member. So we've been doing this a long time and absolutely love this program. So as you're getting ready and we're all excited for global finals to come up, make sure that you've read the team manager guide, and there are maps in there. So get yourself familiar with that so you're ready to go. On the site, you are going to be coming down an elevator and into a pre-prep area, and then you will move down the hallway depending on what level you're at to the prep area. So again, make sure you've looked at that map, and when you get on site, make sure you're familiar and kind of understand how the flow is all going to go. We have multiple teams coming down in different hallways and different venues, so just be aware of that. With that being said, we want to make sure we only have the team managers and team members, and we only want any extra bodies that are physically helping carry. We do not want your team supporters and family members just along. We do not have room for extra people. So keep that in mind, that we just want team managers and the team members. If they can carry all their props and their boxes, that will be good. So once you get to the prep area, there will be a table, and we will have a way to measure your boxes to make sure that's all okay. We'll be checking your modular devices and double checking your forms that you have online already. So once you go through there, we have doors and stuff you'll go through. When we do our video at tournament, you'll get a better idea of the size of doors and such. All those performance sites are going to be carpet. It is a small flat mat carpet. Our measurement zones are all carpet. They are gray in color, and they all have black Velcro lines. So just be aware, it is carpet with Velcro for the measurement zones. Again, watch for that video. You will see the layout on the performance area, how we have that set up, and just kind of get a better idea. If you want to come and see the sites once you get there, that is fine, but you cannot do rehearsals. You cannot do practices. You cannot mess with it at all. You can just visually look at the sites and get an understanding of how they're set up. So you certainly can watch other performances and stuff to see that flow too, but just be aware it'll be a very consistent, and watch your map areas and such. And then once your performance is done, you'll talk with the appraisers, etc. Anybody can help them move it out. And we have areas where you're going to drop your props and all your items before you go to instant challenge. Again, read that team manager guide and there are maps and the explanation of that traffic flow for everybody. So does that answer? I think, again, watch for that video. It'll have the more detailed of the actual performance sites and how they are set up and such. So I think I will turn this to Riley for some other questions, answers we had.
Thanks so much, Donna. And as another reminder for folks, when you're entering into the site before you actually perform, anybody who's going to be doing the testing for your modular device will get a chance to talk with the launch test appraisers and ask any questions you have on that day. And they'll also explain to you the process of how we're going to be doing things at Global Finals. So you'll get that chance before you perform, right before your performance time, though, so not in advance. We ask that you don't approach for extra questions or things that way. With that said, to answer some of the questions you have already submitted for us, I want to start with a couple reminders that Donna and I added to the team manager letter. If you haven't reviewed that, please definitely do, because there's lots of other good information. But some things that we heard from sites over the competition this year were that there were a couple points of confusion that we want to clarify. And so one big one that we heard was about the dimensions of the team-provided container for your modular device. As a reminder, the outside dimensions cannot exceed 20 inches or 50.8 centimeters in any direction for that box. So just because a box might be labeled as 20 by 20 by 20 doesn't necessarily mean that those are its outside dimensions. So please check that before you get to the prep area to avoid needing to make any modifications on the day of your presentation. Additionally, we wanted to remind folks that in the challenge, it indicates that the average launch distance, that scored element, will be based on the first 4 successful launches in each configuration, up to a total of 8 across configuration 1 and configuration 2. If your team completes fewer than 4 successful launches in a configuration, the remaining launch tests for that configuration will be 0, and that will go into the average that is used for your average launch distance. After each launch test, appraisers will inform your team whether a launch was successful or unsuccessful, but it's up to your team to determine when to complete the transformation and how to troubleshoot unsuccessful launch tests. Appraisers will provide an overview, like I mentioned, of the launch testing process and answer any questions you have before your performance begins on the day of your presentation. And then as a reminder as well, there were 2 published clarifications this year. We also asked folks about submitting any questions that you had for this video. And so a few questions that came in that we want to answer. One that came in was about door sizes and shapes for the sites, and we're going to defer that until we can do the walkthrough video with you. That way we can show you specifically the doors that you'll be using, and we can measure those out and explain that for each site specifically when we're going through and taking a look at things. We also are going to hold off on some questions we got about layout and location of sites just until we get the site set up, because we don't want to provide you with any information that isn't absolutely true by the time we get the site set up at Global Finals. And also, it's a little bit easier to show you visually what's going on than to rely on our ability to explain in words what things are going to look like. And then there was a question that came in about replacing the beanbag or the Velcro. We will not plan to replace the beanbag or the Velcro over the course of the tournament unless it's damaged or otherwise isn't functioning well. So the appraisers will be checking the beanbags in between performances, making sure they're all good to go and that each team is getting a consistent performance experience across the competition. If there is any need to replace them, we'll replace them at that time, but there's not a planned cycling or anything that way. And lastly, we wanted to address a question that came in about where specifically we'll measure a beanbag landing. And so in the challenge, it says that the launch distance for a given launch will be determined by the place where the beanbag stops. So if a beanbag lands in the measurement area and then continues to move afterwards, we'll wait until it stops moving to record that official launch distance for that particular launch. If you have specific questions about how we'll record launch distances or how you'll know or anything that way, I do encourage you to bring that to the site and ask about that during the overview you do with the launch test appraisers. But we hope this answered some of the questions folks have about that process and about that experience ahead of time. Like we said a couple times, keep an eye out for the walkthrough video we'll be doing, because that'll show you what your specific test site will look like, presentation site will look like, and help you see kind of what the flow of traffic is going to look like to get to where you need to be on tournament day. We're really excited to see you down in Kansas City. This is a really fun challenge, and we can't wait to see your solutions. Thanks so much for all the hard work you've put in, and good luck.
The only other thing I'd like to say, and I forgot to mention, I'm making the bean bags, and they will all be 15 ounces, right? With Velcro and everything, the finished weight will be the 15, because I measure them out and all that, so they will all be identical. So again, if we would have to replace them, they are identical. And every site will have a couple extra ones on hand if need be. So we'll be consistent across the board with that if anybody's has a question on that. So again, great to see, hope to see everybody there, and enjoy your last couple weeks as we get ready for a fun tournament.